IVM.
Welcome to Absolutely Right, episode number 55. I'm your host, Aditi Surana. Our guest today is Pawan Sarda. He was part of the team that launched Big Bazaar, one of India's largest retail chain of hypermarkets and grocery stores. Later in his career, he was invited to Google and Facebook headquarters to present his unique case study of India's first ever online sale of homes for Tata Housing. Pawan is currently working as the Chief Marketing Officer at Future Group.
That's when stories are made, right? When
Sure.
you go through some of these things,
Right.
and you don't take failure seriously. You really don't take failure seriously. So I think that's something at a larger picture I kind of understood, and I said, "Hey boss, if this is what the thinking is, maybe I need to reinvent myself."
In today's episode, we will discuss what Pawan learned from his professional downfall and how did he rediscover himself. Why does he consider consistently outperforming himself as the best hack to success as well as growth? And which stroke in his handwriting depicts his need for personal space, which helps him realign professionally? Pawan's story of a small town boy becoming the CMO of a large organization like Future Group is filled with moments of perseverance and grit. Recently, Future Group got acquired by another retail giant, Reliance Retail. The existing team is going through a testing time, especially in the face of the lockdown. This demands that Pawan reinvents himself yet again. If you are going through a professional upheaval at this point in time, then Pawan's learnings and experience will help you steer your course. He will join us on the other side of this short break. Stay tuned.
Welcome, everybody, to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Intel. It's been a great week on the network this week. If you haven't been paying attention, please do listen to some of the shows. We had Chetan Bhagat. This was the first returning guest on Cyrus Says. Do check that out. Great episode. We had Palak Zatakia on Advertising is Dead. Really interesting conversation was had with Varun. We had another crossover on the habit coach. Zarina Poonawalla showed up over there to have a discussion with Ashton about anxiety and pressure. Begin the Journey with Ashi Vidyarthi continues to kill it. Please definitely do check it out. An old friend, Vijay Koshi, was on Storytellers and Storysellers. Do check that out as well. And I'd like to mention one thing. If you're a Tamil speaker, you should definitely check out our podcast, Kadai Podcast Punyan Selvan. Kavita Jiva has done a fantastic job to finish up her first story. It is the last episode which just came out last Monday. Do check it out if you speak Tamil. It is an incredible achievement. Please do check that out. And with that, let's get you onto your show.
Hi, Pawan.
Hi.
I'm so excited to do this. Also, we have been speaking so much and I've been part of your classes, which we're going to speak about. So before we begin the entire journey, as I've just introduced you to the listeners, how is the situation at work?
At work,
Yes.
not the most exciting time, to be honest.
Right.
But I think it's a big learning. It's like, in life, you kind of go through all sort of phases. I feel it's that phase which I'm going through, but I'm sure when I come out, I'll be a winner and with lots of learning. And that's exactly maybe maturity comes in,
Right.
to how to handle things better comes in. I think it's that side of learning which I think I'm going through. But yeah, we'll come out as a winner, no doubt about it.
I'm so sure also because of so many journeys like these that you have gone
Yes.
through before this.
Yes.
So please, let's begin from the space where you have taken every challenge professionally more than anything else in a very, I would say, robust manner. And
Yeah.
you haven't given up. And we spoke about this story. Also, I know you personally, so I know
Yes.
other aspects of it. So, to our listeners, we keep talking about this concept that if there are problems at work, in life, then there is always a way to solve it.
Yeah.
There's always a way to make a decision that otherwise is not available to
Yeah.
people. Please tell us one or two things where you had to make that hard stop decision and change things in life.
Yeah. So I think, everyone goes through this, right? I don't think any individual doesn't go through this journey. And also, I think when I keep hearing from people is that's when stories are made, right? When
Sure.
you go through some of these things.
Right.
And that's when you look back and, you cherish or
What will we write in your autobiography?
absolutely, if that's not something which is not there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did go through my journey, like as I was explaining it to you yesterday. Like I think the biggest journey in my life was that, obviously when I joined Future Group, and the kind of things which we are doing, like launching Big Bazaar, and it was hugely, if I don't know if you recall, like this was the first format
Of
which had
course.
like 1,000 people outside waiting. So
Right.
it's another kind of a high which you get,
Of
right?
course.
And obviously when you are part of the journey and suddenly everything is taken out of you, right?
Mm.
And suddenly you realize that you're not able to sign that 100 crore check of a marketing budget,
Mhm.
right? And I think that was one of the low phase of my sort of life,
So tell
which,
us more about this. So here you were, very, very young, in
yeah,
this really aggressive entrepreneurial
yes,
organization, creating this whole campaign,
right,
nationwide campaign, I believe,
yes,
right? How old
absolutely.
were you then?
I was, I think, around 28, 29.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you are like leading, you're achieving
Yeah.
things, this is where the first big transition happened.
Yes.
Okay. And what was the case?
Yeah, so because obviously I think what happens is as organization they become bigger, then obviously the challenges of the organization also become slightly different, right? And there is always a sort of a belief that there could be outside view. Let's just get in, in terms of new thinking and so on. So when you're in the organization for way too long, so maybe you're considered that maybe,
Right.
oh, there could be just a repeat of the same thinking again and again. And I think that's where I went through this, and suddenly there was a change, right? And this happens, and this can happen to anybody, right?
Right.
But when I look back, I think that's one of the best change which has happened to me, right? Because when as I was saying that when all the decision making power which is taken away from you, and I think that was my one big low which I went through in life. But yeah, I think there were two important things when I went through it. Logically, I understood where is it coming from,
Okay.
so I didn't beyond a point didn't allow me to affect it.
So you didn't take it personally.
I didn't take it personally. I
That's
think,
amazing. A career
yes,
shift like that, not
yes,
taking it
yeah,
personally.
yeah.
Okay.
Because you have to know where is it coming from. Many a times because decisions are made not keeping you in mind.
Right.
There are larger picture which is kept
Sure.
in mind, right? So maybe you become a victim of it,
Right.
right? I mean, you're just part and parcel of it, but that doesn't mean that it's channelized at you, right? So I think that's something at a larger picture I kind of understood, and I said, "Ki boss, if this is what the thinking is, maybe I need to reinvent myself."
Right.
I think that's where I took it in a positive spirit. By and large, I'm a very positive person. I don't let negativity come even close to me, right? I always look at some positive aspect of anything what I do, and I think that's how I looked at it, and I said,
I'm sorry, I'm smiling, but I can't stop but wonder. I'm looking at your writing, and one of the aspects that are very, very interesting is I won't say you're a very positive person, but if I look at it, you're a learner who would constantly question the norm.
Right.
And if you can see a gap between what is available and what you would like to achieve, you'll go and fill that gap.
Oh, this is so bang on. This is so bang on. Yeah, I think I'm a big learner. I constantly want to learn. And yeah, I mean, I think one of my big sort of, USP is also about not seeing things in the most obvious way, right? And that's where I think a bit of innovation comes in when I look at, and as you rightly said, that I look at that gap and see that, how you can fill that gap and how you can be slightly more innovative.
Also, I'm saying this because mostly when we consider positive person, we think
Yeah.
the person finds positivity in everything.
Right.
But because you are a learner,
Right.
if you see something not working, you drop it.
Right.
You do not take it negatively, but you do see the negative implication of a decision and
Right.
stop it there. But
Right.
we do feel, positivity is like this,
Right.
only being positive, which is not, right?
No,
In your-
I think on a very, very serious note, I think you articulated it so well for me. Now I understand what I mean. Like, yeah, you're right that I may not be a very positive in that sense.
Yeah.
But I think I understand that where the ball drops, and
Yes.
maybe I
Yes.
think that's a very, very interesting. I never looked at it that way. So thank you for putting that perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So when we look at your journey, and yesterday in our conversation, you spoke about the early success, and then you had to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
So in early successes, people generally have positive notions about themselves.
Yes.
And they start believing that I got the game, I figured it out. Now I am like the star or the blue-eyed boy.
Yes.
And from that pedestal, when you have to get down and question things, what was the process? Because many people cannot recreate or reinvent themselves. And I
Yeah.
find this fascinating. You have done it twice over.
Yes, yes.
So, and now it's probably the third phase.
Yeah. So it also comes from the fact that, being able to work with Mr. Kishore Biani himself. I think he's a fighter, right? So somewhere I think, unconsciously you get some of these attributes, right? You don't realize it, and you literally try and behave like, people who you really look up to. Maybe I think this is something which is, I think I've got it from him, and maybe learned from him in terms of, because one thing he's taught us is that, you don't take failure seriously. You really don't take failure seriously. I think that's definitely, I'll give in to him in terms of,
That's
bringing
amazing.
that aspect in me, and that's how I haven't allowed it to, literally, myself take it seriously, right? And that's where you analyze and say that, what you can do at this point in time, and what is that you can add back in terms of really kicking yourself and start creating some sort of productivity.
So, which also means we are saying that don't take your failures seriously, but look at the consequences and deal with them, or
Yes.
figure a way to deal with it, which is such an important
Absolutely.
lesson, and especially when you are like dealing with a
Yeah.
failure.
Aditi, this is the kind of phase which I'm going through right now.
Exactly.
It's nothing different. I mean, because what's happening to the world, what's happening to the country, what's happening to each one of us. I think we are affected.
Of
We
course.
all are affected by some way or the other. I don't think there's any individual who's not affected.
Of course.
So is me, right? Like I remember, like 2 months, 3 months back, I had only two options, right? One is to constantly fight with this anxiety and maybe, park myself to a certain home, right? Or try and create something, as you rightly articulated, right? So once the bottom, that feeling hits you, you wake up and you try and do something about
So
it,
true, yeah.
right?
And
So-
not everybody can. So
Yeah.
the fact that you're saying that is the approach, I'm also distilling it for people who are looking at their situation right now and feeling hopeless,
Yeah.
or feeling so anxious
Yes,
that
yes.
the anxiety is taking over their body and
Yes.
minds, and they're not doing anything about it.
Yes.
So you're saying that literally take the lowest hanging fruit
Yes.
and walk.
Yes, absolutely.
commendable.
So I mean, I'm still going through. I won't say that I've come out of this, entire anxiety feeling, because I think it hits you. Every day is like a new day, and you deal with it on a daily basis. So I think when I went through this feeling and saying that, what next, because there is so much of stress, there is so much of uncertainty going on. I mean, that's exactly where I thought to myself that, listen, I need to do something. So what's the constraint? Maybe, in the world of, social distancing, you're not able to come out, you're not able to do something, because I'm also a very people's person,
Right.
right? Because that's what gives me comfort, and, I'm into action.
Sure.
But I realized that the world is changing, world is zooming around.
Of
So I said, why not create Zoom as my own world? And that's exactly how I started Sorted. I mean, again, it's really about, making myself look positive into a scenario like this.
Yeah.
And that's given me a lot of strength. Like, professionally, personally, it's given me so much of strength, I cannot tell you,
So you've started a business in the lockdown.
Yes,
You really said,
absolutely.
okay, I have time on my hand. I did not have
Absolutely.
any clue where it's going to go.
Absolutely.
But with your teammates, you really started a...
Yes.
And which is the what's the website? Where do we find it?
So you can find us at sorted.digital.
Okay.
You can go to Google, look for us. I think,
And what kind of training or courses are you
yeah. So, during my, entire shift in terms of my traditional marketing to a new age marketing, I really felt that, I'm not somebody who was very comfortable with this world, right? Because I'm not a extremely friendly tech person in that sense. So I have my limited usage, but, as you rightly said, I'm a learner. The moment I got into this world, I said, it made me like a child. And I said, listen, I need to learn everything. And I think that just brings in so much of excitement in my
Of
life,
course.
right? So I think there was a process which I was going through, and I realized, as I was learning, I genuinely realized that, it's such a simple world. A lot of us, we just for the sake of getting intimidated, we do. But I think if you boil down to in a very simplistic manner, it is as simple medium for anybody to sort of, utilize and make business or create something out of it. I think that was my feeling, and said that, boss, how do I bring in this simplicity, which I have kind of understood and I've embraced, right?
I must confess this. Like, I felt so awkward to use social media because, to be very honest, marketeers have that concept, right? You're pushing, you're like, selling things to people that they don't want to buy, and the capitalist idea.
Yes.
But when we started using some of the tools that I learned from you, something very interesting happened. I realized we could reach out to people who are looking for mental health.
Yes.
And people who are dealing with anxiety,
yes.
which otherwise wouldn't have found us.
Yes.
Especially in the lockdown, there's no other way to really reach out to you but the digital. And it has helped us reach to such amazing people around the world, which is incredible.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, Pawan, to the next part of our conversation, I have your handwriting sample in front of me. What would you like me to talk about your personality? What questions do you have for me?
Yeah, so let's begin with leadership. Yeah, okay. What do you think? What kind of leader I am?
So the first thing that stands out is you are a strategist and then you are an executor. You don't like to sit and make plans.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. This is so bang on.
So you literally get into a situation, you look at the constraints, you look at what is required to be done. And solving the game is the most exciting and also most excruciating part of any business world, right? Any business situation. But you love it. That is the game. That is your candy shop again.
Right.
And you would love to break new boundaries like that.
Right.
So if things are challenging, you're okay.
Right.
The problem is when things are mundane, when nothing is happening, and you get super restless. And people wonder, like, why are you creating all these challenges for yourself? Why can't you just take a breather?
Right.
But I don't think you have taken a breather in a very long time.
No, I haven't. I can't.
Yeah.
Because my every Monday has to be exciting. Like something I need to look forward to. Like I need to smile. I need to talk to myself. I need to the best time when I talk to myself is when I'm having my bath. That's the moment when I'm constantly and I get my ideas and I come out and I'm like, okay, let's do it now. So yeah, I think you're pretty bang on when it comes to that. Yeah.
So another aspect of it is a combination, okay? As a person, you come across as a very social person. You love to connect with people, you love to ideate and work with them. But a side of you, which is a complete loner that won't be available to other people.
Right.
Now, I'm to our listeners, if you write your letter Y, and if you literally, start the letter Y and the stick, the lower loop comes down and remains there. If it doesn't go up, that means you do have loner qualities, the letter Y, the way you have. So when you have that loner aspect of you connect with people, you socialize, you get your teams going, and then you require your time to process your information.
Yes.
And in that time, you don't like anybody coming and bothering you, literally getting into those spaces which otherwise are prohibited for other people to intervene.
So bang on. Now, Pooja, I need my space.
And we are talking
I definitely. No, but that's a must. I need my time to myself. I mean, as much as I love to socialize and everything, but there is an hour of me. I don't want anybody around me. Like literally anybody around me.
And that dichotomy is very important. Mostly people define themselves as extroverts or introverts, social or antisocial. And this is where personalities become so beautiful and poetic in its own way. Because when you love to socialize, but if you don't recharge your batteries, you cannot do that.
Yes,
you cannot give that clarity, that love, that warmth to other people if you don't recharge your batteries.
Absolutely.
So that 1 hour is extremely important throughout your life. So that is given. So now, as you also have handwriting adding to your already, knowledge about yourself, already known fact. So make sure that you always keep that in mind because that is your zooming out time more than anything else. You're an amazing listener. So when you listen to people, you put your heart into your ears.
Right.
And you can catch lies like nobody's business.
Oh my God.
So if your colleagues are listening to this, there's no point. You will not tell people that you can see through them.
Yeah.
You'll just play
I
along.
just smile. I do that so often. I know, what's going on, but, I never sort of,
confront people.
I just smile.
Also with an idea that you want people, you want to see their side. So it doesn't come from letting them take advantage, but it mostly comes from letting them play their game.
Right.
Or having empathy that this is the best possible tool that they have to
Right.
lie in this moment, but to use.
Yes.
So I believe
my
your team
God.
members are your team members are very connected, very
Yeah.
very emotionally on
Yeah.
one page.
Yeah.
So I'm sure leaving jobs or moving people leaving you is
Yeah.
not the easiest
Yes,
space
it's
in your
not.
team.
Yeah.
People go through.
Yeah, but having said this, like I'm really connected with my team, but I do understand again the larger picture of saying that, listen, we are professionally here to grow. So, people have connected with me, worked with me. When they move on for better opportunity, there is no, looking back, you know what I'm saying? So I don't get this feeling of saying, oh, wish he was there and I could have done something like this. That's never happened to me. Like, it's like moving on is very easy equally for me.
Very
As much as it's being connected. But yeah, I mean, if I understand that, you move, that's one thing. And the other is, I don't know whether I should be saying, but, I can't work with the same people for too long as well. So
I wouldn't say that. I would say you cannot work with the people who are unwilling to grow with.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Bang on.
So the very moment those people are growing and
Yes.
they're evolving themselves,
Yeah.
also if they're willing to match your speed at which you are growing or
Yes.
you are jumping, then
Oh
that's a
God, you
game
brought
on.
in so much of clarity to me. Honestly, you're so right, because there have been relationship when you work together and then you realize. But I think, yeah, you're right. When I realize that maybe there is no value addition happening between each other.
Yes.
And that's where I feel that it's the best to sort of move ahead. Either I move ahead or the other person moves ahead.
But when the person
Yeah.
is willing to do that, the same person can be part of your
Yes.
team for years, and,
Years.
and that
100%.
is compounding relationship
Yes,
that you're
100%.
constantly working
Yeah,
together.
Yeah.
What else?
So yeah, I mean, I have such a bad handwriting. I thought, I don't know, what will you think of me? I was so scared.
So I'm against this whole idea of body shaming handwriting. Okay, no body shaming handwriting. So there is no good or bad handwriting.
Yeah. So I make huge mistakes in my spelling. So
Okay.
that's why I tend to sort of, write so that
true.
people don't catch me when I'm making. So now it's become part of my handwriting process. Like,
Like-
that's how it sort of started.
I
But-
think good looking or bad looking handwritings come from the idea that in school we were taught
Yeah.
that good looking handwriting is the way and
Right.
is good character.
Yeah.
I must clarify even for our listeners that there is no concept of good or bad looking handwriting.
Okay.
We were meant to do that because, for example, a good looking spouse
Yeah.
might not be a good spouse.
Right. True.
Same thing is handwriting.
Oh wow,
applicable to
nice.
handwriting.
Thank you for clarifying once again. I'm not ashamed of my handwriting.
Yes, you can-
Rashi asked me and I was like, oh God, like I'm embarrassed. But I'm like, yeah, now I'm not.
So, every time I speak with any high performer, this is my curiosity out of my personal research. Pavan, what was your favorite failure?
My favorite failure was when I spoke like almost in 2010, when I was literally like pushed down to the level of literally making me feel unwanted, if I have to say it in that. And in a corporate world, when you have this feeling, I think it's a killing feeling.
course.
It's like, it's a suicidal feeling, if I
Right.
have to just describe it. I think that's been one of my favorite, because I think it sort of gave me a lot of, a lot of ability to think in terms of, what happened in the last 10 years, like what went wrong. And I think that was a big learning process, which I tend to not repeat those, and one of it is just about, I think, creating or carrying a bit of arrogance, which I think it happened with early success.
Right.
So now I think that experience kind of made me very humble, right?
100%.
I think that's extremely important. And I realized that there is nothing which is permanent, right?
And after that, you moved to Tata.
Yes.
And there you did some, like I really want
Yeah,
our
yeah,
listeners to know about your adventure in that project.
Yeah, so Tata was very interesting because, I joined an organization like Tata where, as I was telling you, that when I don't hesitate to say it, but when you join Tata, you have to please even from peon to your MD, to everybody there, right?
Yeah.
That's the process,
Yeah.
right? It was a new world to me, but again, and challenge to my own self that, I just, like a lot of people used to tell me that, listen, I don't think you can ever work in a very, processed or oriented organization. And I'm like, listen, I'm a professional and my biggest strength, which I feel, is flow,
Right.
and just to prove myself that, listen, I can be part of any process, any sort of a culture, as long as I'm flowing right, and I'm accepting things right. So I think that was like a very cultural change for me. But yeah, it was very, very interesting because it gave me things to do which even Tata did not think that
So
we
you
could sort of
actually
do it.
took their real estate business
Yes.
online,
And we used to sell online.
and
We
for the first time
Yeah.
in the country, because
Yes.
people were not comfortable.
Yes.
Nobody
Yes.
bought houses online for sure.
Absolutely. So I think in 4 years we must have sold close to 1,000 homes,
Wow.
literally online. I think what it gave us as an ability to reach out to a far bigger audience,
Right.
which we couldn't otherwise wouldn't have, like an NRI audience, right? Like how do you get them? You cannot get them through a traditional medium,
Sure.
right? And I think it was just about to say, I mean, and if I have to just be honest, I said, यार घर अगर बिग बाजार में हम कुछ भी बेच सकते हैं
तो घर क्यों नहीं?
घर को भी थोड़ा बिग बाजार बनाते हैं ना. I mean, that was my starting point, and it really worked.
Yep.
And and not taking away from the fact that it was Tata.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 90% of the credit to the brand because it's such a trusted brand, right?
Yeah, true.
But we literally made homes like
Available.
sell like Big Bazaar, literally, if I have to like put it that way.
Offer.
Bilkul. And I think that was a very, very exciting journey for me, like opening myself to a newer world, a very, very exciting world, like really. I as you rightly pointed out that, I'm a kind of a person which lives by the moment, right? And I think, this medium kind of gives you that sort of a pace, right? Like every moment you can utilize it, you can create it. And I think it's a lot of fun. Like you are always into action. There is no break at all. So I think that's how my journey started. And I'm till today, I think I'm breathing and I kind of enjoying that journey.
If I have to ask you to talk about one quote that has genuinely helped you through all your journeys, what would it be?
If you ask me my go-to mantra, I think one thing is extremely important, which I believe in and I swear by. Like, age is just a number. Never, ever, put that age into your head.
That's
I think it's
amazing.
extremely important.
That's
I think being young, and there is so much of merit in being young.
Mentally and like literally
absolutely.
exploring.
And
That's
be
amazing.
a child, right? I many a times, because as you grow older, I think I keep telling my mom also that there's so much of responsibility which comes in, and suddenly some of these things they kind of take a back seat.
Sure.
Don't allow.
Of course.
Never allow.
Your childlike behavior takes
Absolutely.
a back seat.
I think that's the most important. That's my go-to mantra in life, because I should be able to connect with my son and he should see me as a friend.
Yep.
Or versus maybe like anybody else.
Sure.
I should be able to connect. And this is something which I've learned from one of my ex-boss. She was Pepsi marketing head, Vibha Rishi. I mean, she's one of the best marketeer in India.
Wow.
And that's something she's taught me. Like, I think she was 55.
Wow.
And I could see she could have a conversation with 16-year-old of their level.
Relevant.
Absolutely relevant.
How nice.
And that's one thing which I learned from her. And I realized that, this is one quality which I would never, ever want to let go from my side.
Nice.
Like never. I think
that's a great
it's
learning.
Very important.
I'm going to think about it. I became a professional very early.
Yeah.
So I don't remember my early 20s because I was just, I think, behaving 40 already.
Yeah.
I'm going to just reverse and think about my younger age now.
No, please do, because I think that just keeps you going.
Yeah.
Like, and you are able to connect with a lot more people. And I'm a marketeer. I need to connect with young people. If they don't understand what they go through, I will become a daddy marketeer, right? Which I don't want to ever.
Sure. So Pawan, the whole idea of what is bothering you, or what can I look into your writing and speak about, which can help?
I think, I don't know, but it's more of uncertainty in terms of what's going to happen after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. And these are more financial, if I may say, That's what is bothering me at this stage. Like nothing more, nothing less.
Okay.
And that's the stressing point is what I'm going through.
Okay.
Not that, it won't have solution. It will. I have to work upon it.
Right.
But yeah, that's the only thing, if you ask me, is bothering me.
Okay. So one thing that I look at your writing and something which stands out is if you have a clear goal in your mind, then you go for it.
Yes.
Without any restrictions or anything may stand in your way, you'll just go for it.
Yes.
I think more than anxiety, it is a challenge of not having clarity. And I'm not
Yes.
saying external clarity,
Yes.
but internal clarity.
Yes.
So what if, taking a step back and asking yourself that if you can redesign things, what
Right.
would you like to do?
Okay.
Because mostly we are so busy fighting
Yeah.
the situation, trying
Yeah.
to do the right thing,
Yeah.
being responsible for things that
Yeah.
otherwise
Yeah.
are not in our control.
Yeah.
But if we ask ourselves that what do I require to do? What
Right.
is it, what is my next career
Yeah.
goal?
Yeah.
We do not know where the opportunity may
Yes.
come from.
Yes.
But having our internal clarity
Right.
is an essential part of the story, which
Right.
mostly is not available.
No, I think again that's a good point. I mean, I believe, I kind of agree to what you're saying in terms of having that clarity.
Because right
And-
now you're on a firefighter
Yes,
mode,
yes,
and
yes,
without
yes.
you're not creating.
Yes,
So I
yes.
look at you as an artist in
Yeah.
this very
Nice.
different way. But literally, you create your new canvases. You
Yeah.
really pick things,
Yeah.
concepts that other people haven't picked up,
Yeah.
and then you want to really surprise the
Correct.
world, people around you,
Correct.
and yourself.
Correct.
Now
Correct.
that is a creating mode.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks like firefighting when you're creating.
Right.
But right now you're firefighting without having the creative aspects or like literally, designing it for yourself.
Right.
So
right.
look at any project, like we spoke about the
Yes.
Google
Yes.
project. Tell us more about
Yeah.
it.
No, I think more than Google, let me talk about the Facebook project, which
Right.
I sort of, we did when I was with Tata. Again, I think it just went with the very simple logic of, when you have to sell a home in Goa, like, your market is definitely not Goa. I think
Right.
that was a big challenge which was thrown to
Right.
us. And obviously with the constraint of, budget, like a very, very minimal budget, right? And that's where I think, that's where I love to be innovative
Right.
and say, ki boss, if this is what it is, like, how can you go back and say, oh, it's not possible,
Right.
That's a big one. And therefore, then you start thinking, what you can possibly, sort of how you can address it. And that's where I think Facebook happened. And we realized that maybe this is the most logical platform because, we'll be able to reach out to NRIs, to, people from Bombay and Delhi and, all over, right? And obviously, I don't think Facebook had done anything much in India. And neither like we had.
Yeah.
So I think it was the perfect timing as well. I think they were trying to explore India market. We young people wanted to do something.
Explore online
crazy.
market. Yeah, true.
I think we came in together, and then obviously it was a magic which got created. But yeah, as I was telling you that when we were chatting yesterday, there were a lot of hurdles which came in. But the thing is, that makes it an interesting story to talk about.
And that's
today.
an interesting part. So if things are complicated because you are taking the bar to the next level, then you are game.
Yeah.
But right now, you can't see your next bar, and
Yeah.
this is where the frustration lies.
Could be, yes,
So,
absolutely.
it's like realigning the same situation in a better way or a
Absolutely,
different way.
absolutely. So, professionally, I'm able to handle and battle these situations much better. But the same thing when it comes to a personal side,
course.
it becomes tough for me. I don't know. I haven't cracked that, in a personal level. Like, how do
Also,
you?
like the biggest problem is stepping away from our situation and seeing
Yeah.
things for what they are. It's the
Yeah.
toughest one. I think
Yeah.
that distancing from the situation
Correct.
does require different
Yes.
kind of perspective and practice.
Yes.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Pawan.
Thank
This
you.
was a great conversation, and
Same here.
like bringing different aspects of personality, work profiles, and also human life experience. I think it's
Yeah.
so exciting to see how simple principles about failure, about struggle,
Yeah.
we can literally implement
Yes.
and make any profession really worth all the effort and shot.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Bruce Lee said calmness is a superpower. I agree. Staying calm under pressure is an acquired skill. Pawan has tried and tested it over and over again. If you build this tenacity muscle, your probability to grow increases. On our Friday episode, let's explore staying calm under pressure and some ways for you to master this skill. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Absolutely Right. Please review, comment, and share this podcast with anybody who can get benefited by the learnings. Do let me know what did you learn from this conversation with Pawan. And as always, I'm keen to know your key takeaways. To know more about how I use graphology and high performance coaching to work with organizations and people, you can visit aditisurana.com or follow me on Instagram at aditisurana. If you like this podcast, then don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Let's connect on Friday. Till then, happy writing!
Hi guys, this is Ayushi.
And I am Ritasha.
And welcome to Agla Station Adulthood.
It's a fun podcast we've got going on, and we'd love for you to tune in and enjoy with us.
Join us as we stop at various stations and discuss different topics that seem to be bothering us and hopefully
Dating,
you as well.
relationships, beauty, just being an adult, lots of different things.
We don't have a great grip on it, but we've done okay so far.
Catch Agla Station Adulthood every Thursday on the IVM app, the IVM website, or wherever else you get your podcasts.
Times have you motivated yourself to improve your sleep or lose weight or be more productive? How many times have you failed? Hi, my name is Ashton Doctor. Tune into my show, The Habit Coach Podcast, where we focus on creating small, tiny habits to improve your life instead of those big, impossible tasks. So make listening to me a habit every Monday, Wednesday and Friday on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com or on your favorite podcasting app.